Hello investors, my name is Dehan and welcome back to your number one place for all your investing needs. In today's video, we will be discussing the top 4 growth stocks to buy right now in the third week of December. So we just had some huge news on Friday night, and that is going to be the Pfizer vaccine has been approved by the FDA. Finally, we can start to distribute it into the United States and people can start to receive their first dosage. This is going to give us an opportunity to start reopening up our economy, and stocks that have been pummeled because of this are going to have some huge upside coming up in the beginning of 2021 and further on. Now, before we get into this list, guys, if you guys are enjoying this video and this type of content, go ahead and smash that like button. Let's get 100 plus likes on this video. We just hit 10,000 subscribers, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Turn on that bell notification so you get notified every time I make a new video. If you guys want to trade with Webull, there's a link in the description. Get your 4 free stocks. Robinhood links as well, and an M1 Finance link as well in there. Leave a comment below. What stocks are you looking forward to? What stocks are you buying or selling right now? What do you guys think about this FDA approval that just happened with Pfizer? Do you think that the stocks that were pummeled are going to start to recover, like Boeing, the airlines, all these restaurants, cruise lines, Disney, etc., etc.? So the first stock on our list is going to be ticker symbol DIS, which is going to be the Walt Disney Company. So Disney, you guys all know this one is a streaming company. So this one is currently trading at $175.72. It hit all-time highs today. The stock was up about $21 or about 13.59%. And the reason for this is because Disney just had its investor day, and it had a huge pop. Now, if you guys are familiar with this, last year they had an investor day and the stock also had a huge pop. But they discussed some of the new ideas and new things coming up in the future, and investors are liking what they're seeing, and the stock jumped up a good 13.5% today, even hitting 15% at one point during the day. Now, if we look at Disney year to date, the stock is for the past year, the stock is up about 5.88%. So down here when the Rona happened, obviously it crashed down to a low of about $85 per share, and that is because all the parks had to be shut down. Their dividend got cut as well, so people started to panic. They didn't know what was going to be going on. But down here, that was a great buying opportunity, because if you would have bought that there in March, you would have made over 100% gain if you would have held Disney until today, for example. Now Disney, right now, obviously they did suspend that dividend, but they do have a yield of 1.14%, market cap of 279.59 billion. If we take a look at their earnings that they had for the previous quarter, it was on 11/12/2020. EPS actual was negative 20 cents per share. EPS beat by 45 cents. Revenue actual was 14.71 billion, beating by 611 million. So revenue, it wasn't that bad, even with the parks being closed and all that. The streaming services and all these other things that Disney has were able to keep them up. Now, if we take a look right here, Disney stocks hit all-time high as thanks to the streaming strengths. Shares of Disney jumped 13% Friday to a new all-time high. The stock is now up more than 20% this year, an impressive feat that the pandemic has wreaked havoc on Disney's theme park business and forced its movie studios to delay big releases in theaters. Investors are clearly betting that the streaming strength will offset any lingering weakness in other areas of the House of Mouse empire. Disney raised its forecast for subscriber growth and is upping price for Disney Plus. Wall Street analysts rushed to upgrade Disney following Thursday's event. At least 13 analysts boost their price target on the stock Friday morning. Citi analyst Jason Besnett noted in a report Friday that Disney was making a robust commitment to new content, noting that the increased costs in programming were paying off as subscriber growth has continued to increase faster than forecast. The numbers prove Disney can go toe-to-toe with current streaming king Netflix, whose shares are up more than 50% year to date. In addition to its namesake movie studios and animated libraries, Disney also owns Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars creator Lucasfilm. So obviously Disney is getting all these analyst boosts. People are seeing some huge things with Disney. There's great opportunities. I think that a couple more analysts are probably going to be upgrading Disney in the upcoming week. And now, especially with this vaccine approval that we just got on Friday night, I think that Disney is going to pop, because the parks are going to be able to start reopening soon, hopefully. And that is going to build up more of their revenue up, which is a very, very good for Disney. And they might even, unpause that dividend for us, and we might start getting that dividend once again from Disney. The second stock on our list is going to be one that actually popped once again this week as well, and it's going to be Snap. So this is Snapchat. So if we take a look here in the last 5 days, Snapchat is up about 10.8%. Right here, it was on Wednesday, it was trading at around $48. On Thursday, it jumped to about $53 per share. hitting an all-time high actually. And then today we were only up about 18 cents. So Snapchat is coming up. I'm actually going to be reading an article in the number 3 pick that I pick on the list, because number 2 and number 3 are going to be kind of combined. And number 3 had some news come up, which is going to benefit number 2 and number 3 on our list, which is going to be Snapchat and another company. And we're going to be going over all of that and how that is going to potentially continue to boost these two companies together. Now, if we look at this Snapchat, it's currently valued at 79.25 billion market cap. If we take a look at their earnings, they really popped on the previous earnings quarter. Their earnings was on 10/20/2020. Their EPS actual was 1 cent per share, beating by 6 cents. Revenue was 678.67 million, beating revenue estimates by 124.69 million. Now they're expecting to have even better revenue coming up in the next quarter, which is going to be in February 4th, 2021, at about 845 million. So that's about almost 200 million more dollars in profit, which they're expecting. Now the good thing is, obviously, as they're starting to modify their platform and just expand, and especially with the whole lockdown, more people are on Snapchat, more people are connecting with each other since they cannot see each other in person, and people are going to be using this app more and more. There's a lot of advertisements going on. There's a lot of big stars on Snapchat that are promoting as well, and Snapchat's not going anywhere. It's going to continue to trend on up and continue to grow for years and years. And now that number 3 stock that is combined with Snapchat is number 2, and number 3 is going to be Twitter. Ticker symbol TWTR. So this one is trading at $51.44. It is up about 23 cents, or about 0.5% on Friday. In the past year, the stock is up about 71%. This stock also popped, in the last couple of days. It was up about 7.16% for the week. It was trading down here at about $47, went to a high of about $52 right here, and then we made a little bit of a pullback to end the week. Now this one is the market cap for this one is about half of what Snapchat is, so it's about 40.63 billion for Twitter. Now earnings for Twitter in the previous quarter were pretty decent as well. It was on 10/29/2020. EPS actual was 19 cents per share, beat by 14 cents. Their revenue actual was 936.23 million, beating expectations by 160.2 million. Their next quarter, just like Snapchat, they're expecting an even better quarter with almost 1.2 billion in revenue. So we're going to see how they do with that. I think that both Snapchat and Twitter are going to do amazing in this quarter and the next quarter, and probably in the next couple of quarters in 2021 as well, because of this pandemic and just how things are rolling out. I think that these companies are both having a very, very bright future. Now, the thing that happened is Twitter will let users share tweets directly to Snapchat and Instagram, and that was the big news that made Snapchat and Twitter pop on Thursday morning. The best tweets often go viral on other platforms. Now, Twitter is fully embracing that with new sharing tools that allow users to natively share tweets to Snapchat and Instagram. With the change, which is rolling out now for Snapchat, Twitter shares menu will include the option to send a tweet directly to the Snap camera. The company will test a similar feature for Instagram stories in the coming days. So obviously now, that they're going to be combining pretty much and, integrating with each other. That way they can both benefit from this, because, if people are on Twitter and if they're on Snapchat, they're going to be going back and forth. They're not just going to stick to one of them. And I think this is going to actually increase the number of people that are going to be going to these apps. I think that they're both going to be doing very well from this. And I think this was a good move by Twitter. And especially, obviously Snapchat is benefiting from this. Hopefully Instagram, is going to benefit from it in the future if Twitter integrates this with Instagram as well, which will be definitely a positive thing. And I think that, all of these companies should be working together and growing together to the top. And now as we get into the number 4 pick, we're going to be looking right here. FDA approves the Pfizer Rona vaccine for emergency use as U.S. reaches pivotal moment in the pandemic. The FDA chief scientist Denise Hinton told Pfizer in a letter Friday that she was authorizing the emergency use of the company's vaccine. Obviously, the FDA's emergency use authorization will now kickstart the federal government's distribution of the potentially life-saving doses to 64 states, territories, and major cities across the nation. The government plans to distribute 2.9 million doses of the vaccine within 24 hours, followed by an additional 2.9 million doses 21 days later for patients to get their second shot, as they will be having to get, obviously, 2 shots in 2 different increments. So the number 4 pick is going to be Moderna. It's not Pfizer, it's going to be Moderna. And the reason I'm picking Moderna for the number 4 spot is because Pfizer, obviously it's going to pop, and we had it on our last week's list, But Moderna has news coming up in the upcoming weeks. And if Moderna can potentially have a vaccine that is similar or even better than Pfizer, you can definitely bet on Moderna to continue to rise on up. As you know, there's going to be competition. It's not just going to be Pfizer. There's going to be other options. Then we're going to see which one is better. If they have any side effects like Pfizer did. So Moderna is currently trading at $156.93. It was up about $1.24, or about 0.8% on Friday. In the past year, the stock is up about 725%. It was trading at around $17 when the pandemic started. Now trading at 156, so it's been up hugely. Market cap is at 61.61 billion. If we take a quick look at their earnings for the previous quarter, it was on 10/29/2020. EPS actual was negative 59 cents per share, missed by 22 cents per share. Revenue was at 157.91 million, beating it by 75.41 million. And then the next quarter, they're expecting to have better revenue at around 223 million. Obviously, the U.S. just said, they're buying another 100 million Rona vaccine candidate doses, from Moderna. So they're going to be buying 100 million doses from them, which brings the confirmed order commitment to 200 million doses in total. So pretty much it's like they had an option and they, exercised that option and said, yes, we will, we do want those 100 million more doses of it. And that's what's happening right now. So, Pfizer got the approval. Now we're going to be looking at Moderna, as Moderna is rising as well. Pfizer and Moderna could score, 32 billion in Rona vaccine sales in 2021 alone. Doesn't take into account the goodwill boost these companies will receive by helping to end the worst pandemic in a century. The boost is magnified for Moderna, a young biotech company that a few people had heard of before 2020, that could now be on the cusp of getting its own FDA authorization. Pfizer is projected to haul in 19 billion in Rona vaccines in 2021, according to Morgan Stanley. That's on top of an estimated 975 million in 2020 vaccine revenue. Pfizer will split its revenue, obviously, with BioNTech, the German company it's partnered with for this as well. And obviously, it was approved today for the vaccine. Pfizer is expected to take in 9.3 billion more in combined Rona vaccines in 2022 and 2023 as the world continues to get vaccinated, and Morgan Stanley projected that as well. So Moderna had just 60 million in revenue last year. Meanwhile, Moderna's Rona vaccine candidate had already transformed a virtually unknown company into a 62 billion powerhouse. Shares have skyrocketed 700%, like we said, so their value is up a lot. Moderna is expected to rake in 13.2 billion in Rona vaccine revenue next year, according to the Goldman Sachs. Others are more bullish. Morgan Stanley said Moderna's skyrocketing share price implies investors' expectation that the company will take 10 billion to 15 billion in Rona vaccine sales in both 2021 and 2022, followed by billions more in booster sales, and so on and so on. These are staggering sums for a company that generates just 60 million in sales in 2019 and has never previously licensed a product. So this is a very huge move for Moderna because it was such a little company, and now it's in the front line as becoming the number one stock probably for the Rona vaccine, competing with Pfizer. And they had a 95% effective rate, which is better than what Pfizer said with 90%. So Moderna is definitely a top pick for this this week, and just to see what happens after this approval, if it gets approved in upcoming weeks. So guys, these are the picks I'm picking right now, because we're going to be having a lot of different vaccines, a lot of different health companies saying that they have a vaccine, and hopefully some of them get approved. So competition is going to be huge, and I think within a year from now, we're going to be able to start reopening things up, and things are going to start being smooth and back to normal. Obviously, the economy is going to be able to reopen up. Disney and all these other stocks we talked about are going to start booming, in my opinion, and I think that this is just going to benefit everybody in general. So what do you guys think? Leave a comment below letting me know if you agree with my opinions. Do you think that the economy is going to be doing very well in the next year or so? Do you think that these vaccines are going to be benefiting each other as they boost each other up? And yeah, so smash that like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.